Welcome back to the Creative Herd. It's been a long while. I hope everyone's doing well in this whole COVID mess that we're still going through. I'm just throwing together this episode because me and my buddy Nolan actually put out a film during the most recent lockdown, and we chatted the other day on FaceTime and made a quick YouTube video about how actually we went about making it and all the hurdles we had to jump through, and kind of just how the film ended up crafting itself with all the constraints and stuff. So I thought I would put that conversation from the video that we made and turn it into just an audio only. And I mean, if you're curious, there is a YouTube video on my YouTube channel, and it is called How We Made a Film in Lockdown. And the film is called 2020 Feelings. It's basically just a film about healing and in kind of like a experimental way. Yeah, you can watch that film on YouTube or on my Instagram, or actually Nolan's Instagram as well. My Instagram is just at Spencer Torok or at Nolan Begley. Those links will be in this description, so you can just kind of scroll down and tap. It's only like a minute long. Yeah, and I'll just roll the conversation that we had about this film. And yeah, again, hope you guys are well. Hope you guys enjoy this conversation, and I hope everyone's doing their best to keep flexing those creative muscles. I think the original idea was just to make something short because we wanted to post it on Reels, and then that just didn't work out. And I think that was the whole thing, is we were just rolling with the punches the entire time. I was doing some tests of like animating and then digitally projecting like animations into the real world. And then that idea, I think, morphed into like, what if we did like meaningful words on the people who were feeling those emotions? And
oh yeah, you did it on those rock.
Yeah, it kind of morphed into an idea from just like fooling around.
When we did that tester of me, we really just wanted to see if the projection was even going to come out.
Yeah,
it wasn't so much to like record it and then like post it on Instagram. It was just, let's see if the camera actually picks up the projection, and it did, and it turned out being pretty cool.
Yeah, yours was a full trial of like, if we could even do it, how would it look, how would it even work, and it actually ended up being like, yeah, one of the sickest ones for sure.
Yeah, it did, and like when I posted it, I remember just like for a straight like 36 hours, I just got flooded with DMs and like text messages and emails, like all like varying in response, but like the general response to this video was like, wow, this hit me in a very interesting way, a very deep way, and it's only a 15-second video. It's not a big deal for me to speak about how I'm feeling, because I feel like I've been an advocate for mental health for like a long ass time, but I don't know, I guess people just needed to see something and like literally
be able to relate.
The biggest words, being projected in my face, and for some reason that like struck a chord with people. And I think that's where like the meaning came into the project. Like once we got that response from the first round of viewers, that's when we were like, oh shoot, this project actually can be something.
Well, I think that's when we turned the idea of an idea into a project, when it was just shit, that's like, this is a thing, because people resonate, especially right now being in a pandemic and everyone's locked at home, feelings that are like all-time high. So we basically went from there, turned it actually into a project, because it was just like, why don't we do this with multiple people that we know? And yeah, started reaching out to people. And then as soon as we started to get stoked and get the gears in motion, it was just like, boom.
Toronto's going on lockdown.
Yeah, Toronto's going on lockdown.
The first one we shot was 3 hours before Toronto went on lockdown. We were at our friend's house at like 9 p.m. or something like that, and like lockdown started at midnight, and we were like, well, this may be the first and last and the beginning and the end of this project that we just thought of.
Yeah, so, yeah. It was literally the first clip. Yeah, we all had only done yours, and that was the first one.
We weren't even going to use mine because we were like, yeah, let's just get a bunch of different people. But then we were like, oh man.
We had bigger plans to do like a ton of people. But then as soon as we went into lockdown, it was like, okay, let's like really scale this back, because COVID is really gnarly. And then we ended up sharing the camera a little bit too. I filmed mine by myself. You filmed another one by yourself, to just kind of keep things distant, and then we pretty much did the rest outside.
Yeah, we had to, right? We had to be as safe as possible. Like, none of us want to catch COVID, and either way, we all knew we didn't have it, but like we wanted to be responsible and, you know, go about it in a very respectful way. It was like a nice break to like get out of the house to shoot this one thing because each shoot was like 45 minutes max, but it was nice. It was a nice 45 minutes to get out of the house to go create something, and then we parted ways. But the second thing that I really liked is that we found another new workflow to collaborate with each other. I didn't have the footage over here, so I don't know, talk about the way that we end up coloring this thing.
Yeah, I guess
our process.
I guess usually whenever we like do a project, we'll just like be in the edit room together. But for this, we figured out a solution of just like sending. Oh, they weren't even DNGs; they were JPEGs that I was sending you, and you were literally editing them in Lightroom, and we were making a LUT based off that. And I think it turned out really sick. Like those LUTs worked perfectly.
I mean, we didn't plan on making a LUT for every single shot and like applying that, but it ended up working perfectly, like seamlessly. It seemed so quick and very efficient on our time. I think that was a really cool thing that we figured out during this process.
Yeah, I think the whole thing was a learning process. I don't know what I would change if we had to do it again, because like those were really tight constraints that we were dealing with.
Oh yeah, incredibly tight. But like we also all felt very connected while making this, you know, like even like asking our subjects, our friends, what their words were, like it forced them to be reflective, because they knew that like this was going to be posted on the internet, and they wanted to actually be like a proper representation of who they are and what they're feeling. So like them even forcing them to be reflective, and then sharing their vulnerability with us, and then having to make the projection, and then like them seeing the projection on their body of their own words was probably a very
visceral experience.
It's tender, and it was a very emotional project, even though it's something that like it's a minute and 3 seconds long, and like it is the most simplest setup we could ever come across, but like it hit home for a lot of people. I always feel like we're meant to, especially you and I feel like we are meant to like help people and change people through our art or through whatever medium we have. And I feel like this kind of project was a really nice way of connecting with people, and almost like giving a lending hand and like sending our arm out to people to be like, it's okay to speak about how you're feeling, and it's the way you're feeling are validated. It's cool, you know? And
yeah, it just kind of like gave people permission to actually feel something and reflect. And
not that even anyone needs permission, it's just
yeah, but it's easy to like push that away, especially now, because it's not at the forefront right now and people don't want to think about that stuff. But yeah, I think our vision was to make it super short, and then that kind of morphed, and then at some point I think we were just like, all right, like let's let this film kind of just be itself, like make itself.
We put a lot of trust into that, you know, I didn't even really consider it being that, you know, but it's true. We really kind of let it become its own thing throughout the process, and like that does take a little bit of just like I think more like trust and belief in like our organic creativity, and just be like, yeah, something's gonna come out of it. I'm not sure what it is, but like something, it's happening.
Like I think we spoke a couple times after shoots, being like, I don't know how this is gonna cut together, but it was like, it was okay, because at the end of the day, it's like, well, whatever. We got out and was creative, and like got the blood flowing, the juices going, and like that was the most important thing. And then at the end, we were just like, all right, it'll just craft itself, and it did. And
yeah, it did. When you look at it, it's not even like something that's like magnificently shot. There's no groundbreaking cinematography. There's no bells and whistles to the editing. It's just like, it is what it is. It's very raw.
Yeah.
And I'm like proud of it because of like just our resilience and like our willingness to like actually go ahead and just keep making something with all of the restrictions and, you know, that were kind of like placed onto us. And it really like it jump started 2021 for me, you know. Sometimes you just have to go and make something and like just trust in it. and that alone will kind of spark your creativity. And we have this conversation all the time about not being so precious about work and just like go create and go make something, and then something will come out of it. But it's so much easier said than done.
Yeah, but we did it. And like,
we did it. This time we did it.
Would you make another lockdown film? Because we are currently just went into another lockdown.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like...
Oh, you would? Yeah, okay.
I was actually talking to Teresa, my partner, the other day about like what happens this year if I fall into like a rut. Like, what am I going to do? On the spot, I was like, well, I want to like jot down like photo challenges or video challenges for myself and force myself to like complete them in hopes that there will be like a resurgence of like juices flowing and creativity. And like that's like an old trick that a lot of creatives do. But I think like shooting films at home and shooting your own stuff is like the perfect challenge for it. And I think I'm going to have to actually do it, because who knows when this lockdown is going to end. You know?
Exactly what you said, man. Like, I think that's going to be the 2021 flex for sure. It's just like trying to box yourself in so you can get out of the box.
Yeah, pretty much, man.
Final thoughts?
What was your favorite part about making this, like the actual production / editing side?
I think just getting out and shooting. I spend a lot of time editing and not a lot of the time shooting, so that was really exciting for me. Just to get back out in the field and remember things that I forgot. Just getting behind the camera more is really exciting for me, and kind of one of my 2021 goals for sure. But yeah, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't own my own cinema camera, so like anytime I get my hands on one, it's like a brand new toy to me, you know. I'm so stoked. So yeah, just like obviously working with you is something that I always look forward to, and we've been doing it since we were kids, you know, making projects. So I've always looked forward to that. But like besides the whole friendship thing, like holding a cinema camera and be like, yeah, I actually know how to use this.
I mean, we don't often get the chance to collaborate a lot, but hopefully this is just like another right step in the right direction here of 2021, man.
I went into 2020 with some serious high hopes, and obviously they were all incredibly deflated, but I see 2021 more so as an opportunity now instead of like setting these goals. I feel like this is a chance where I can, you know, take everything that I learned internally and externally from last year and really hone in on our craft and our skills. Because now we've gotten over the whole first few months of like feeling shitty about ourselves, and now it's time to pivot and, you know, move onwards.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I think we should just leave it there. That's a good way to end it. I think one thing we missed during this conversation is that we actually wanted to get a voiceover from each individual that we filmed and kind of ask them a few questions, and that's something that we didn't end up doing because of time and, you know, respecting people's times. And I don't think we really had a super clear vision of what we wanted the voiceovers to be. So in the edit room, I was actually playing with a few things, a few different music tracks as well. And in the end, we actually settled for just a snippet of a Bill Murray interview talking about his like ideal future, I guess. Basically, in the interview, he was just explaining that he wanted to be more present and more here and more real with people. And I thought that was pretty fitting for what the whole film was about. Just the notion of that a lot of us right now are pushing our feelings kind of to the back burner. And yeah, it's just kind of important, regardless if you're feeling positive or negative. It's important to kind of address those feelings and just be in it so you can work through it, or ask for help to work through it. But you won't know to do those things unless you're actually present and willing to experience it. So shout out to Bill Murray, because yeah, it was a good soundbite. But yeah, just a quick episode. Again, hope everyone's doing well and keeping safe and staying healthy. Hopefully the podcast will be back soon. So till then, stay creative.